Greetings, everyone. We are standing in the eye of Hurricane Otis, a devastating storm that is ravaging the southern coast of Mexico with unprecedented force. The wind howls continuously, and the sound of the waves crashing against the shore is as if they want to devour everything in their path. The scene before us is nothing short of a nightmare. Otis is not just a hurricane, it is a catastrophe that the people here have never experienced before. With winds reaching up to 165 million kilometers per hour, this storm struck directly at Acapulco, a renowned resort, just after midnight. The city, once a paradise for tourists, is now nothing but a pile of rubble. Everything you once knew about this place has completely vanished in the fury of the storm. Look at this scene, everyone. You can see the enormous waves crashing onto the shore. These are no longer ordinary waves but towering walls of water, reaching up to 10 meters high, smashing into the coastline with terrifying force. Even the most solid structures along the coast, every house, every high-rise building, are being crushed under the power of Otis. The sea has turned into a merciless monster, leaving no trace of life in its path. An entire city has been reduced to fragments, debris scattered everywhere, floating on the water like painful remnants of memories left behind. Below, under the wrath of Otis, the coastal homes are being mercilessly destroyed. The wind rips roofs off, tears apart wooden planks and shingles, hurling them dozens of meters away. Trees are uprooted, lying sprawled across the streets, which once bustled with life but now lie in complete ruins. No one can escape this fury, no structure can withstand the terrifying power of Otis. This city now resembles a battlefield, where people can only endure and hope that the storm will soon pass. In the midst of the chaos, we witnessed a family desperately trying to escape their home, as floodwaters poured into every room, every corner. They clutched onto their most precious belongings, things they couldn't bear to leave behind: a small suitcase, a few pieces of jewelry, an old doll, all that remained of a once peaceful life. The floodwaters have engulfed their house, sweeping away everything they once called home, and now they could only run, searching for safety before everything disappeared entirely beneath the surging waters. The bustling market, which once welcomed thousands of buyers and sellers each day, is now nothing but a heap of rubble. Goods and stalls have been swept away, broken and scattered everywhere. What once symbolized life and prosperity is now just debris, floating in the murky waters. The vendors, who once eagerly called out to customers, are now struggling against the flood, trying to salvage whatever remains, but their efforts seem futile. The storm has taken not only their possessions but also the hopes and futures of the hundreds of families who depended on this market. The bustling market, which once welcomed thousands of buyers and sellers each day, is now nothing but a heap of rubble. Goods and stalls have been swept away, broken and scattered everywhere. What once symbolized life and prosperity is now just debris, floating in the murky waters. The vendors, who once eagerly called out to customers, are now struggling against the flood, trying to salvage whatever remains, but their efforts seem futile. The storm has taken not only their possessions but also the hopes and futures of the hundreds of families who depended on this land. Amid the raging storm, in a small church, candles flicker in the wind as the local residents kneel and pray. They have nothing left but their faith in the Almighty, hoping that He will protect them from the fury of nature. Prayers echo through the air, filled with anxiety and fear, as the wind howls through the windows, shaking the entire building. The people here have lost everything: homes, possessions, even the lives of loved ones, and now, all they can do is hope for a miracle, for divine protection to help them survive this storm. Even places considered the safest, like hospitals, cannot withstand the brutal power of Otis. Medical staff, dressed in protective gear, are struggling to evacuate patients to safety. The floodwaters are rising by the minute, pouring into the wards, reaching waist deep, making movement more difficult than ever. The doctors and nurses are not only racing against time to save their patients but also facing the dangers of nature, the strong winds, the cold, rising floodwaters. In this critical moment, there is no room for mistakes. Every decision must be made quickly and accurately, because even a single minute of delay could cost someone their life. The fishing boats, the livelihood of thousands of fishermen, now lie scattered on the shore, overturned by the waves, shattered into pieces. An entire industry, the very means of survival for hundreds of families, is now under threat. The fishermen, in despair, are trying to drag their boats ashore, but all efforts seem futile against the terrifying power of Otis. They watch as the wood, the nets, the fishing gear are swept away, and they know that after this storm, their lives will never be the same. The waves have taken not just their boats, but also the faith and hope of these hardworking people. In the storm, no one is left behind. Soldiers and rescue workers are tirelessly trying to reach the isolated areas where floodwaters have cut off all communication. They face flooded roads, collapsed bridges, and debris blocking their way. But they have no choice but to move forward. Every second that passes, every step they take, is an effort to save another life. In this dangerous situation, no one can predict what will happen next, but they know that their mission is to save and protect, and they will do whatever it takes to fulfill that duty. An ambulance is struggling to navigate the flooded roads while the storm continues to rage. The strong winds push the vehicle from side to side, and the deep waters make movement more difficult than ever. The headlights illuminate the road ahead, but it is not a light of hope, it's a light fighting against nature. Every inch forward is a battle with the wind, the water, and time. Those inside the vehicle know that every passing minute could mean the difference between life and death, and they cannot let anything stand in the way of their rescue mission. They have only one goal: to get the victims to safety before it's too late. In this shelter, Hundreds of people are huddled together, desperately seeking a safe place. They have lost everything: homes, possessions, even loved ones. Amid the crowded and chaotic conditions, cries and prayers fill the air, each person carrying their own fears, yet all sharing a fragile hope that they will survive the night. Mothers hold their children tightly, shielding them from the storm, while the elderly quietly pray, their tear-filled eyes reflecting years of hardship. They have weathered many storms, but never have they faced destruction like this. Hurricane Otis threatens not only their lives but also their future, as everything they once knew and loved has now been swept away. This supermarket, once the source of food for the entire area, is now nothing but a pile of rubble. The shelves are empty, and food and goods have been swept away, scattered everywhere. The people, in despair, are desperately searching for anything that remains. Every can of food, every bottle of water has become more precious than ever. In this storm, not only lives but also their very means of survival. The scarcity of food and clean water will be the greatest challenge they face after the storm passes. They know they must find a way to survive the difficult days ahead, as nature has taken away everything they once had. The once sturdy homes, places that were once warm havens, are now nothing more than piles of rubble. Every wall, every brick has collapsed, scattered haphazardly across the ground. Mud has flowed in from the flooded streets, turning this place into a wasteland, devoid of any signs of life. The residents, in their despair, are trying to clean up, but their efforts seem futile. What was once a home, where the most beautiful memories were kept, is now just a heap of broken bricks, beyond any hope of repair. They know that they have lost not only their possessions but also their faith and hope for a better tomorrow. At the National Hurricane Center, a tense atmosphere hangs in the air. The experts are constantly monitoring the storm's progression, discussing and issuing the latest warnings. Otis has defied all predictions, rendering all contingency plans useless. The speed at which it has intensified is unprecedented, and now they can only hope that preventive measures will save as many lives as possible. The anxiety is clear on each face, as they know that every decision they make could affect the lives of thousands. In this situation, there is no room for error. Every action must be carefully calculated, because time is not on their side. Finally, as the sky begins to lighten and the dawn breaks, the devastation becomes clear before our eyes. The streets are silent, devoid of any sign of life, with only piles of rubble scattered everywhere. Buildings have collapsed, roads are blocked by mud and debris, and a profound silence blankets the area. But this is not the silence of peace, it is the silence of pain and loss. What Otis has left behind is not just physical destruction but deep wounds in the hearts of the survivors. They will never forget this storm, the storm that took everything from them, leaving only painful memories and an uncertain future. Otis has passed, but the scars it left will never heal.